Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare, an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. With Skillshare, you can explore new skills, develop existing interests, and get lost in creativity. Skillshare has classes in photography, creative writing, animation, film production, marketing, productivity, and many other areas. If you're not sure what to take, you can explore staff picks, browse different categories, and even look at specific classes with reviews, comments, and an idea of what you'll be learning and the skill level needed. One class that I'm interested in and which would be very relevant to my life is Introduction to Social Media Strategy by Brian Peters. Almost 30,000 people have taken this class, and it has useful topics for a YouTuber like myself, including how to increase web traffic and drive sales. Skillshare is giving away 2 free months of premium membership to the first 1,000 people who click the link in the description to help you explore your creativity. And after that, it's only about $10 a month. Thank you once again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now, on with the content. Hey guys, this is EckhartsLadder. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars Legends video. So, clone troopers, a very interesting breed, created to fight the greatest war seen in a millennia and eventually turned into the secret police and enforcers of a corrupt empire. Unlike Star Wars canon, in Legends, clone troopers actually served within the ranks of the Imperial Stormtrooper Corps for quite a while. Not only, in fact, the original batches of Kamino clones, but other clones created both using the Kaminoan method and other cloning procedures. So given the fact that the clones were incredibly successful during the Clone War and that the Empire was really a direct continuation of the Republic, at least that's what Palpatine wanted people to think, why did clones actually become Stormtroopers? And even with the name change, why did they fully abandon not only their armor, but also their weapons? That is what we'll be talking about during today's video. And there's a couple of reasons for this. Let's first talk about philosophical, although there are practical considerations as well. The Empire and the Republic and their associated militaries were very different. The Republic almost seemed like it was struggling with the fact that it was using clone soldiers. Clones were told to customize their armor, they were allowed to take names, SWAT and Jedi camaraderie was encouraged, and really clones became more unique and, well, sociable than many of the Jedi that they were fighting alongside. I mean, look at Captain Rex. He presumably dyed his hair. I doubt it was naturally blonde because, well, I guess he wanted to. Same with his armor. When other clones moved to Phase 2 armor, Rex sort of made his own Phase 1.5. The Empire was very different. Armor customization was just not a thing. You were given armor and you wore it. End of discussion. Rank differences were signified by pauldron colors, stormtroopers referred to themselves by a designation, and just generally the Empire strove to create an army of uniformed, faceless troopers. The loss of individuality wasn't an accent, or it wasn't something some middle manager decided might be a cool idea to try out for a few years. Rather, it was in line with the general principles outlined in the Tarkin Doctrine, which governed much of the Empire's military strategy, which was all about making your enemy feel overwhelmed by the Empire's forces. The Empire was supposed to be an unassailable, infinitely large and grand entity, so when you go across the galaxy and you see these stormtroopers everywhere looking the exact same with the same armor and weapons, well, the Empire does feel pretty damn big. And there's actually an interesting story about this in the new canon compendium from a certain point of view. So that explains some aspects of why clone armor changed, but if all they were worried about was individuality, the Empire could have just mandated stock Phase 2 armor or Phase 3 armor, whatever they created for all clones, as well as any new recruits. However, they didn't, and I think there are practical reasons why they did so. First of all, the Clone Wars was really an exceptional event in galactic history. Like I mentioned earlier, there had been peace for over 1,000 years. The Confederacy of Independent Systems was only able to get so powerful through the manipulation of galactic events by powerful individuals, as well as centuries of cronyism and corruption which had allowed banking clans, trade unions, and other commerce entities to grow extraordinarily large and powerful. The Empire didn't anticipate fighting another galaxy-spanning war, certainly not one where they'd be pushed back by massive armies like the Republic was. The Empire was far more worried about occupying territory and oppressing rebellion. and dealing with the many small threats, often from their own citizens, which, sort of crop up if you're a fascist regime. I think the differing realities between the Empire and the Republic help to explain away a lot of the change in equipment and armor. On one hand, specialized environmental units within the Imperial Navy are probably even more advanced and prepared for their environment than those of the clone armies, and I would guess this is because the Empire wasn't only fighting on ice planets, but they were often setting up bases and staying there for an indefinite period. Generally though, the average stormtrooper was arguably less specialized. Most stormtroopers would have had the exact same armor, one which would allow them to tackle a variety of situations that they might encounter when policing or occupying a planet. Again, they're not usually fighting large-scale wars, or at least they're not expected to. But who knows exactly what they'll have to do on some random planet in the Outer Rim on any given day. So given the presumed lesser combat role of a stormtrooper, their armor tended to focus more on technology, like communications. Stormtrooper armor had built-in life form sensors. It had an advanced internal system, monitored by a center in the helmet. It had various devices which could help filter out and pick up sound and communications, and of course, much more. The armor also had increased survival mechanisms for dangers not related to combat, or at least not direct combat. The stormtroopers' lenses protected them from flashes. They could tactically coordinate over long distances. Stormtrooper armor, unlike clone armor, could actually be sealed to a vacuum and was complete with a small oxygen supply, helmet rebreathers, extra protection from explosions, and more. That being said, as explained by the new Essential Guide to Technology, the Stormtrooper armor is simultaneously more advanced and less formidable than its clone trooper predecessor. So we've talked about the more advanced. The other part of the equation comes from the fact that Stormtrooper armor just did not protect as well from blaster blows and physical attacks. In my mind, that was a conscious decision to have stormtroopers prepared to face the dangers that they're likely to prepare. Stormtroopers will be shot at, but probably not as frequently as clone troopers, and it's probably worth sacrificing some of that extra armor to give them environmental protections, given the fact that stormtroopers are going to be everywhere across the galaxy in outposts all the time on very dangerous worlds. However, that's just only part of the equation. The stormtroopers also got an entirely new blaster, the E11, moving on from the various blasters used by the clone army, especially the DC-15A and S. So in a video I did a couple of years ago, I ranked the various blasters used by the Star Wars factions, and I actually gave the Empire's E11 the #1 ranking. So I guess from that perspective, that alone may be reason to justify switching. I mean, every once in a while you are just going to get technological upgrades, and it's worth changing your equipment out then. But I think the E11 also reflects this new use for clone troopers. Instead of having two distinct weapons, a short-range DC-15S and a longer-range DC-15A, the Empire instead employs the E11, which, as stated by the Essential Guide to Warfare and many other sources, had an extendable stock which allowed for greater accuracy in long-range combat. The book doesn't really give any other details about the E11, though the new Essential Guide to Technology sort of echoes its point by saying the E11 can be wielded with one hand for close quarters combat, and during long-range combat, the stock can be fully extended and placed against the wielder's shoulder for increased stability and accuracy. That source also mentions that the E11 has an advanced computer-enhanced scope, which helps compensate for difficult situations, including smoke and haze, which you might expect to find during urban combat or other situations that stormtroopers would likely be in. So hopefully this video explained some questions that you may have had about the Empire's switch to new technology as they moved from clone troopers to stormtroopers. Again, it's all about preparing for the environment you're going to be in, and stormtroopers were used often more like police rather than frontline soldiers. Where stormtroopers were put in frontline combat or used as special forces, then they typically would have had very specialized armor, and there's plenty of examples of high-tech spec ops stormtroopers that we can talk about in future videos if you're interested. That, however, is all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on for more. Until next time, guys, have a good one. This has been EckhartsLadder. Please be safe, and may the Force be with you.